You break out of your egg, somewhere in Europe. Your eyes are shut, and you can't see anything around you. The nest is made of thin sticks, barely holding together, and your body is almost completely bare with just a few yellow tufts of fuzz scattered across your skin. One other egg sits beside you, and after a few minutes, it cracks open. Your sibling tumbles out and lies still next to you. Both of you stay low in the nest with your heads resting on the sticks. Then something blocks the light above you, and a shadow drops over the nest. Your parent lands on the edge and lowers their head toward you. Their beak opens and presses against yours, then a thick white liquid pours directly into your throat. It's warm and fills your stomach instantly. This is crop milk, and it's the only thing keeping you alive right now. Your sibling pushes forward and shoves their head under the parent's beak. You get pushed to the side, so you stretch your neck trying to reach back in. Your sibling pushes harder and drinks longer. When the feeding is done, the parent steps over both of you and settles down, covering your bodies with their feathers and keeping you warm. A few hours later, the other parent arrives and repeats the same process. Your sibling moves first again and drinks more. You manage to get some, but not as much. Over the next few days, this happens again and again. Your sibling grows faster, their body filling out while yours stays smaller. Then on the 5th day, your eyes open. The world is blurry at first, but shapes start forming around you. You see the edge of the nest just a few inches away, and beyond that, a long drop to the ground below. Your sibling is nearly twice your size now, their wings already starting to show small feathers along the edges. The nest feels smaller every time you both move, and there's barely enough room left for the two of you. You're 2 weeks old now. Your body is covered in feathers, but the nest feels smaller every day because your sibling takes up most of the space. Every time a parent arrives with food, your sibling pushes forward first and blocks you from reaching the beak. You try to squeeze past, but they shove harder and pin you against the edge of the nest. So you get less food each time, and your sibling keeps growing faster. One afternoon, a parent lands and lowers their beak toward the nest. Your sibling rushes forward again, so you stretch your neck as far as it can go trying to reach around them. But the nest is too crowded, and your body gets pushed backward. Your feet slip on the sticks, and suddenly you're falling over the edge. Your wings spread open without thinking, and they catch the air beneath you. You're not flying, just gliding down in a long curve toward the ground. Then you hit a lower ledge hard with your chest and roll once before stopping. Your wings are still spread out and your legs shake as you try to stand up. You need to get back to the nest, so you start climbing. Your claws grip the rough surface of the building, and you pull yourself up one step at a time using your beak to grab onto small cracks in the wall. It takes several minutes, but eventually you reach the edge of the nest and crawl back inside. Your sibling is still there and the parent is gone. They didn't come down to help you, and they didn't stop feeding your sibling while you were away. You move to the far side of the nest and tuck your wings close to your body. Your sibling stretches out in the middle, taking up even more room than before. You'll need to leave this nest soon, but next time it has to be on your own terms, because falling like that again might land you somewhere you can't climb back from. You're 3 weeks old now. The nest is too small for both of you, so you need to leave before your sibling pushes you out again. You step to the edge and look down at the buildings below. Your wings are strong enough now, so you spread them wide and jump. The air rushes under your feathers, and you start beating your wings as fast as you can. You're actually flying, not just falling, and you rise a few feet before dropping again. Your wings work, but you can't control where you're going, so you tilt sideways and crash into the wall of a nearby building. Your claws scrape against the bricks, and you tumble down several feet before catching yourself and flapping again. This time you manage to glide across an open space and land on a flat rooftop. But you're moving too fast, so when your feet hit the surface, your body keeps going forward and you roll across the ground. A group of pigeons feeding on scattered seeds lifts into the air as you tumble through them, and they fly away in different directions, leaving you alone on the roof. You stand up and shake your wings out and look down at the seeds scattered around you. You're hungry, and this is food, but you've never eaten anything except crop milk from your parents, so you lower your head and try copying what the other pigeons were doing. You peck at one seed and it sticks to your beak. Then you tilt your head back and swallow it. It goes down, so you peck at another one, then another, until you've eaten several of them. That's your first real meal that didn't come from a parent. A few minutes later, the pigeons start returning to the rooftop one by one. They land around you and keep eating like you're not even there. You can fly now, but landing still needs work, and if you crash the wrong way next time, you might not get back up. You're 2 months old now. You've been flying with a group of about 20 pigeons between the buildings, and you've learned to follow their movements when they turn. The flock drops down toward an open plaza where people are walking around, and some of them throw food onto the ground. So the pigeons land and start eating, and you land with them. You walk between the other birds and peck at the seeds and bread pieces scattered across the pavement. Your landings are smoother now, and you can keep up with the group when they move from one spot to another. Then something moves fast overhead, and a shadow sweeps across the ground in front of you. The entire flock lifts into the air at the same time, so you beat your wings and follow them upward. A hawk drops through the space where you were just standing with its talons reaching out, and it grabs the pigeon that was right next to you. The bird doesn't make it off the ground before the hawk's claws close around its body and pin it down. You're already in the air, so you bank hard to the left and follow the others toward a narrow alley between two buildings. The flock splits into two groups when they reach a corner, and you stay with the larger group as they turn sharply and fly through a gap barely wide enough for your wings. The hawk doesn't follow, probably because the space is too tight for its size. After a few more turns, the flock slows down and lands on a high ledge attached to the side of a building. You land beside them, and your wings are still shaking from how hard you were beating them. The other pigeons settle down and start cleaning their feathers like nothing happened, but you keep watching the sky above you for several minutes. The flock saved you today, and if you'd been alone, that hawk might have grabbed you instead. But staying with them means you'll always have to watch for threats, because something faster and stronger is always looking for an easy meal. You're 8 months old now. You're flying over a row of buildings when you spot a female standing alone on a flat rooftop below. You need to find a mate, so you drop down and land a few feet away from her. She looks at you for a second, then goes back to pecking at seeds on the ground. You puff out your chest and lower your head, then walk toward her with your neck stretched forward. She keeps eating and doesn't move away, so you bow down in front of her and make a soft cooing sound. She lifts her head, looks at you again, then walks to a different spot and keeps feeding. You follow her and repeat the same movement, bowing lower this time. Then another male lands on the roof nearby. He puffs up his chest even bigger than yours and starts walking toward the female. You need to stop him, so you step between them before he gets close. He doesn't back away, so you spread your wings and push forward, slapping your wing against his body. He pushes back with his own wings, and both of you shove against each other for a few seconds. Then he steps to the side and flies off the roof without trying again. You turn back to the female, and she's watching you now instead of eating. She bobs her head once, then starts walking across the roof. You follow her, and she leads you to the edge of the building where there's a small ledge under an overhang. It's sheltered from above, and it's wide enough for a nest. You fly down to the ground and pick up a small twig in your beak, then carry it back up to the ledge. You place it down in a rough circle, then go back for another one. The female watches you for a moment, then flies down and brings back a twig of her own. She places it next to yours, and together you start building the nest piece by piece. The structure is thin and barely holds together, but it's yours, and she's staying to help you finish it. You're 1 year old now. Your mate laid 2 eggs in the nest a few weeks ago, and both of you have been taking turns sitting on them to keep them from getting too cold. Then one morning, the first egg cracks open, and a small squab pushes its way out. A few hours later, the second egg hatches too, and now there are 2 blind, almost featherless chicks lying in the nest. Your mate sits over them while you fly down to feed. When you return, you lean over the nest and open your beak. Then the thick crop milk pours out, and the squabs lift their heads and swallow it. Your mate leaves to find food for herself, so you stay on the ledge and watch the nest. A crow lands on the edge of the building a few feet away. It tilts its head and looks directly at the squabs, then hops closer. You need to protect them, so you spread your wings wide and rush forward, hitting the crow's face with your wing. The crow snaps its beak at you but backs up a step. You hit it again, harder this time, and keep moving toward it. The crow jumps into the air and flies off without coming back. Your mate returns and lands beside the nest. She leans over the squabs and feeds them while you stay near the edge of the ledge, watching for anything else that might come close. Over the next few days, the same thing happens again. Another crow tries to land nearby, and you chase it off before it gets too close. Then a gull flies over and circles above the nest, so you lift into the air and fly straight at it until it turns away. The squabs are growing now, and their feathers are starting to come in, but they're still completely helpless, and every bird that passes seems to notice them sitting there. You'll need to keep defending this spot until they're strong enough to fly, because anything that gets too close will try to take them. You're 3 years old now. The ledge where your nest sits has been your spot for 2 breeding seasons, and you've raised squabs here twice already. Then one afternoon, another pair of pigeons lands on a ledge just a few feet away from yours. They start bringing twigs and dropping them in a pile, trying to build their own nest too close to your space. You need to protect your territory, so you fly over and land right in front of the male. He steps back, but then returns and picks up another twig. You spread your wings and push him with your chest, making him drop the stick and move to the side. But a few minutes later, he comes back again with more nesting material. This keeps happening for the next hour. Every time you chase him away, he waits and then returns with another twig. So you fly at him harder this time and grab his wing with your beak, pulling him off balance. Both of you lift into the air and tumble downward with your wings hitting each other. You let go, and he flies to a different building across the street, finally leaving the area. When you return to your ledge, your mate is already sitting on 2 new eggs in the nest. The other pair's half-built nest sits on the nearby ledge, but they're gone now and haven't come back. Your territory is secure again. A few days later, you're flying over the plaza with your usual flock when you see the same male from before feeding on the ground below. He looks up and sees you, but he doesn't fly away. You land near him and walk forward, but he just moves to a different spot and keeps eating. You don't chase him this time, because he's not near your nest anymore. You've held this ledge longer than most pigeons keep their spots, but every season brings new birds who think they can take it. You'll need to keep defending it as long as you want to stay, because the moment you stop fighting, someone else will move in and claim it as theirs. You're 5 years old now. You're flying alone across the plaza, heading back toward your roost on the far side of the buildings. Your wings beat at the same steady rhythm they've used thousands of times before, and the route is so familiar that you barely think about it anymore. Then something moves in the corner of your vision. It's too fast to process, just a blur dropping through the air above you. A peregrine falcon slams into your back at full speed, hitting you so hard that your spine snaps instantly. The impact flips your body sideways, and both of you start tumbling through the air together with the falcon's talons locked around your chest. You don't feel anything. Your wings aren't moving, and your legs hang loose beneath you. The falcon adjusts its grip and spreads its own wings, slowing the fall and steering both of you toward a high ledge on the side of a building. It lands on the edge and releases you, letting your body drop onto the stone surface. You're on your side with one wing bent underneath you and the other stretched out across the ledge. Your eyes are still open, but you're not looking at anything anymore. The falcon stands over you and tears into your chest with its beak, pulling out pieces and swallowing them. Below, the flock you were just flying with lands in the plaza where people are scattering food across the ground. They spread out and start pecking at the seeds, moving between each other like they always do. One of them lifts its head and looks around for a second, then goes back to eating. The rest of them keep feeding, and after a few minutes, they lift into the air together and fly toward the next spot. None of them come back.